Hi uncle, go Lido please. Yeah, I'm going for the Singapore International...
uncle?
This is the Executive Director of the Singapore International Film Festival, the 32nd edition, and she is driving me to the opening night. What are you doing here?
Well, you know, I help out wherever I can.
Oh my god.
Today it just seems to be I'm on chauffeur duty.
Okay, life of a filmmaker. Thank you so much. But of course, we're also going to be picking up some of our friends who will be involved in the festival as well. So let's find out who they are. And now we have our first guest for today, Panuksmi Hardjowirogo. Hi Panuksmi!
Hello,
Hi,
Jo.
Panuksmi.
Hello! So Panuksmi, you ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay, so first challenging question. Do you remember me?
How could I forget you, Jo? You were in Here, a film I executive produced in 2009 that was selected at the Directors Fortnight in Cannes.
Oh my gosh, you do remember me! I'm so honored! That was 12 years ago when we were young and beautiful.
You're still beautiful.
So are you. I just always have such great admiration for producers because it's such a hard job, I feel, you know. At the end of the day, I feel the buck stops with you, whether a film gets made or not, whether it gets distributed or not. You know, all that comes down to the producers.
Yes, but we don't work alone, we work in a team. But yes, it's true. I mean, fundraising is a very difficult and sort of not a very self-rewarding kind of work. It depends what kind of films you're making. If you're making more sort of auteur-driven films, it might be a little bit more difficult because you might only have a niche audience. But I believe that niche audiences are very important.
Isn't that great? I mean, and from those experimentations, from those adventures, they create new genres and new audiences so that we can then make different types of films rather than, you know, funneling everything down to what is popular with the mainstream audience.
I agree with you there.
I wanted to ask you what it feels like being part of the Southeast Asian Producers Network. So you were part of it 2 years ago, and now you're part of it again for SGIFF.
Well, I think it's quite gratifying for a producer to know that we have a network, first of all. As I said to you, filmmaking is a team effort. But I think the idea of trying to really reach out more within the Asia, Southeast Asia and the Greater Asia makes more sense because there's already a link. So we don't have to over-explain each other.
I read your bio and it said that Panuksmi has a special focus on Southeast Asian stories. So why is that?
I think because I felt a bit deprived growing up. I was born in Jakarta, but at the age of 4, we moved to New York City. And then after that, I moved to Montreal. I think I was only when I came to Singapore where I was able to really tap into producing projects that are from the stories that are interlinked within the region.
There's so many great Southeast Asian stories being told, especially in SGIFF, right? So what film would you say you're looking forward to most?
There are several films. I mean, the opening film looks really great. There's also the film by the Indonesian woman Camilla Andini called Uni. And of course, there's the film that I was involved in, Anatomy of Time.
Right.
But I have to honestly say that I'm really looking forward to seeing Royston Tan's film 24. Only because I watched 15 when it first came out, but I watched it in Montreal.
Oh
Yeah,
my
on a
gosh.
winter's day, it was snowing at like 9:30 in the morning.
It's been quite many years since Royston made a feature film, and this one is about following a sound engineer as he captures the sounds that are from different parts of the world, like to collect before he reaches the end of his life. I find that so poetic and so beautiful.
I agree with you, and I'm also very, very curious to see how Royston was able to put into visuals something that was just audio.
I think that's the magic of film, you know. We can really share so many ideas that seem really quite abstract and somehow bring that in a really physical, really visceral way to an audience. And I wanted to ask you, how have films impacted your life?
In most ways, I mean, at times when I wanted to, even as a young child, when I didn't really want to play with friends, I would actually just watch films.
Oh, yeah?
But as I got older, I mean, I realized now the impact is really the fact that I plunged into, I guess, the professional side of it, which is, you know, embracing it as, you know, as my work. And I guess that's an extreme way of appreciating films. But yeah, that's what happened.
Dedicating your whole life to it.
Yeah.
Wow, talk about commitment. Okay, so Panuksmi, I think lots of people are familiar with you as a producer, but you know, you're always behind the scenes. So I think it is time for more of our viewers to get to know you as a person. So I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions and you're going to give me some quick fire answers. You ready?
Ready.
What's your favorite color?
Periwinkle blue.
That's very specific. What's your favorite food?
It's a salad my mom makes called pecel. It's a little bit like gado-gado. So it's a salad with a peanut sauce, but the difference is that there's kaffir lime in the sauce.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Okay, what's your favorite beverage?
Coconut water.
What is your favorite country? Ah,
That's a difficult one, but I always say it, and I believe this, it's the country where I'm living.
world peace. And what's your favorite director?
Offhand, I would say John Cassavetes.
Okay, what's your favorite song?
Coyote by Joni Mitchell.
Who is your favorite artist?
I have two. I really like Laurie Anderson and Louise Bourgeois.
Ooh, okay. What's your favorite film?
What's come to mind is Love Streams by John Cassavetes.
What's your favorite phrase or quote?
Time notwithstanding.
Oh, wow. Okay, and finally, who is your favorite author?
I'm gonna go with Marguerite Duras.
Beautiful. And of course, you know, I just wanted to ask you, since you mentioned your favorite song just now, you also worked on a film for this year's SGIFF called Seen Unseen, and that's kind of like about the music in Singapore as well, yeah?
Yes.
And so, I mean, it's I think we get to hear music from so many different wonderful talents in Singapore that maybe have been overlooked by the mainstream, just overlooked by lots and lots of people. Can you tell us, like, what's your favorite song in that show?
Radio Waves. That's done by Jo.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and it's been such an honor seeing you again after 12 years.
Yes, I actually saw you before. I've seen you perform several times with theatre work. So I've seen you before
Oh.
12 years. Yeah, more recently.
I'm very stressed. I hope I was good.
You were more than fine.
I'll take it.
Okay.